Well, hello, everybody, and thank you for joining our webinar. This is the latest webinar from N4V. A title of our webinar is Welcome to SAP Business Objects 2025, Innovation and Business Impact. Our goal today is to share with you, as a partner and as an expert on SAP Business Object Solutions, our thoughts on the key innovations with BI 2025, as well as potential business impact and what we think is a good strategy for you to have some seamless transition from whether it be 4.2 or 4.3 to BI 2025. At this time, let me just introduce the team that we have. We have an international team with us today. Dallas Marks, who you can see on camera, our pre-sales engineer extraordinaire, is in the US. Jerome and Jean Bernard in our French office in Paris, and myself, I'm in Canada. And I know that some of you have come from a lot of different places, some of you from Shanghai, from Sydney, Australia, as well as from India as well. So welcome. Dallas is going to be doing most of the presentation for us today, but before we do that, I do want to just move to the next slide here and talk about our agenda. We have 7 categories today in our agenda. First, we're going to do some housekeeping, and we're going to talk about an overview on SAP BI 2025, some of the key innovations. We're then going to talk about the business impact to you and your customers, as well as a strategy for a seamless transition. Then we're going to actually do a demonstration of BI 2025 with Dallas and talk about how N4V for WEBI fits into that strategy as far as transition, as far as business impacting, and some of the key innovations. As well, we're going to then summarize closer to the end, and then questions and answers, and we'll be doing that through the chat. But let me just move to the next slide here. So we're going to take about 45 minutes of your time. We might go slightly over, depending on how many questions there are. You are placed on mute because there are so many of us on the call today. And we would love to take your questions in the chat. What's going to happen is Jean Bernard and Jerome in the background are going to be taking your questions via chat. They are going to be putting them into the PowerPoint presentation that I'm working on right now, and we will get to them in Dallas, and I will answer them as we get to them at the end. So again, if you could ask your questions via the chat, that would be great. As well as for those of you who are here, we are going to be sending out a link after the presentation, giving you a copy or a link to the webinar recording so that you can send it to other people in your organization or review it at your leisure. And for those who aren't attending, we're also going to send them the same link. So you'll be able to find that link as well as the link off of our website to take a look at that as well. So let's talk about an overview of SAP BI 2025, some of the key innovations. Now, Dallas has done a great job in creating a blog post, but you know the question that we pose here is business objects still relevant in 2025? And in answer to that question, again, Dallas has written a blog post within the SAP community site to discuss just that. And to us, N4V, an SAP partner, the answer is a resounding yes. And at this point, I'd like to pass it over to Dallas to walk us through some of the key innovations within BI 2025. Dallas.
All right, thank you, Warren, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. So SAP Business Objects BI 2025 is proof from SAP that there is a roadmap and there is a continued future, not just for the longevity of the product, but there's also innovation with the product as well. And we have seen the first signs of that with BI 2025, which was generally available just this past March. And this week, we received notification that the first patch for BI 2025 is now available. So there were a few years where business objects had kind of a fuzzy roadmap. And as you can see from this slide, there's definitely a roadmap not only for BI 2025, but there's also going to be a sequel announced, or it has been announced, BI 2027. And what that means is that business objects is going to be supported into 2030, and we are expecting it to be supported even beyond that. So next slide, Warren. So SAP had several goals for providing an update to BI 4.3. And so what we'll see today in BI 2025 is that the end user experience was a priority. So the user interface is largely based on 4.3, but there have been some enhancements. And many of these enhancements are around the idea of productivity and reducing the number of clicks that it takes to perform some of the standard operations. And so that is in keeping with making the BI platform modern and up to date, and also based on the same UI5 technology that SAP is introducing into all their other products. This is also the first version that introduces canvas sizes. And so that is an acknowledgement that web intelligence is moving beyond being just a reporting tool where you need to pick a paper size, and instead it's something that you need to specify a desired display size. And there are new widgets available, and also there are a whole collection of them based on UI5 in support of a new offline access feature that we'll be talking about in a little bit. So the main enhancement to the user experience, there again are lots of smaller things, but the big thing is a new build panel that is on the left side of the interface. And again, it provides a lot of left clicking, a lot of left single clicking, and the old access methods through the main menu and the other panels are still available. So you don't have to really forget anything. But again, there's been an emphasis on productivity. And what you'll find in that side panel are all the legacy widgets that you're familiar with in BI 4.2 and 4.3. There's also a smaller collection of widgets created in SAP UI5, and again, these are largely in support of the new offline access capabilities. You may have heard of something called WIDEX, which stands for Web Intelligence Exchange. And lastly, what we're going to show you today is that there can also be over 60 widgets or custom elements in this panel provided by our solution, N4V for WEBI. And so these 60 widgets cover a whole variety of use cases and allow you to envision dashboards in Web Intelligence using capabilities that you would normally think of turning away from SAP altogether and perhaps considering other tools. So what we hope to show you today is that the universes, the SAP semantic layers that you love, and it can be combined with really modern dashboard functionality. Okay. So we've talked a little bit about UI5. So one of the core capabilities is a new format called the Web Intelligence Document Extract, or WIDEX. And this allows you to take web intelligence on the go. We call it the ability to access web intelligence in the desert. So you can take data completely disconnected from your business objects environment and access it in an offline manner. Okay, next slide, please. Another key innovation is that you are now going to be able to pin KPIs or charts directly onto your BI Launchpad. And so instead of having to go in and access a full-blown report, you can have just predefined metrics that are available immediately as you log into the product. And as part of BI 2025, there's also been a lot of enhancements under the hood so that the response times of all of the visualizations are snappier than they've been in previous versions. So we feel at Need4Viz that there are really 4 key things to take away about what BI 2025 represents. The first is that something called data mode, which was introduced in BI 4.3, is complete. And data mode introduced the ability for you to do data cleansing and data blending directly from Web Intelligence. And so that's something extraordinary. It not only shows that the support dates are moving into the future, but the tool itself is moving into the future with capabilities. If you look at some other vendors, they may have their own solution for data cleansing and data blending, but it's either a separate tool or it's from a partner company. And so to have these capabilities directly into Web Intelligence where they can be used by the entire Web Intelligence community is pretty extraordinary. And we're going to have a brief demo of data mode in just a moment. The next thing is the enhanced UX. And so it is beautiful, but more important than being beautiful is it makes you a lot more efficient. And again, a lot of the key things, a lot of the repetitive operations that you need to get to are just a single click away now. There's Canvas support. So this is a big deal. We've always thought of Web Intelligence as a tool that needs a paper size to be specified. And now we have the ability to select a canvas size as well. Dashboards are typically a single window of information, and so there are predefined canvases for desktop monitors, for tablets, and for mobile phones that are available for you. And then lastly, to kind of tie it all together, the Web Intelligence document extract. And so this is supported by all of the new UI5 components as well as the new canvas sizes.
Fantastic.
Okay, next slide.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Dallas. So Dallas is just kind of giving you an overview of the SAP BI 2025, some of the key innovations, those 4 areas that he talked about. We want to talk about now of kind of the business impact moving forward. And Dallas, there you go.
All right, thank you. So we've put together here a slide that shows that part of what also is happening with Business Intelligence 2025 is it represents a streamlining of the platform. And so features that were not in broad adoption or rarely used have been pruned from the platform. And so what that means, if you are currently using some of these technologies in BI 4.2 or 4.3, part of your upgrade strategy is going to be mitigating these. I'm just going to cover these quickly. You can see on the footnote of the slide, we've written a SAP community article called All That You Can't Leave Behind, and it goes into more detail on each of these technologies and also provides you with links to relevant SAP knowledge base articles. So at the top is the Universe Design Tool. So for those of you who have been around the SAP Business Objects platform long enough, you might remember that when 4.0 was introduced way back in 2012, they introduced a new universe design tool called the Information Design Tool, and it had a new format, the UNX format. And it was said back then that, well, someday we're going to get around to not supporting the universe design tool anymore. And so that day has arrived, and the only universes supported in BI 2025 are UNX universes. So if you still have UNV universes, there are mitigation strategies, there are free tools available from SAP, but also multiple partners have solutions to help automate the process, especially if you have a large number of universes or documents. Even though they are keeping the UNX format, one of the types of universes that you could build in UNX was something called a multi-source universe that had built-in data federation. And so this is a not frequently used feature. And so SAP recommends single source universes moving forward. and using some of the features to do data blending between multiple queries using the new data mode. Subversion is the open source tool that SAP uses as part of their version management system. It is still supported. However, it is no longer integrated into the BI platform. And so that means if you want to continue to use Subversion, you need to stand up your own instance of it, or you can now migrate to Git, which is a very popular source code repository, and that is something that is now supported by the platform. SAP Business Objects Mobile is going away, as the BI Launchpad is now fully HTML5 and no longer requires a mobile app to do translation. Live Office, the plugin to Microsoft Office, no longer supported. And for those of you who use Crystal Reports, some changes there. Crystal Reports is no longer supported on the Linux platform. So those of you who are running BobJ on Linux, if you need to support Crystal Reports, you'll need to think about adding some Windows servers to your Business Objects cluster. And as well, after spending 15 years trying to get Crystal Reports users to adopt Crystal Reports for Enterprise, the pendulum has shifted the other way. So Crystal Reports for Enterprise is not in BI 2025, and the UNX support that it provided has been introduced into certain versions of Crystal Reports 2020 and higher. And so lastly, Lumira. Lumira used to be the premier solution for dashboarding and taking the place of Excelsius and dashboards. So Lumira Discovery is not supported in BI 2025. Lumira Designer is, which used to be called Design Studio, still supported, but really hasn't seen features in years. And so if we just wanted to cover all of these briefly, if any of these are things that in our current environment, we'd love to have a conversation with you to talk about your unique needs, how you currently use the BI platform, and help you construct a roadmap on the best way for you to get to BI 2025.
Fabulous. Thank you, Dallas. So as Dallas just told you, there is some impact to your business and some things to do to migrate. And I hope that was helpful for you. So next we want to talk about strategies for a seamless transition. Dallas.
Yeah. So there's 4 big steps that we envision. And the first is taking a full inventory of your current environment. And so being mindful of the previous slide that we talked about, the technologies that are being retired. And also, anytime you do an upgrade, you can minimize the scope of it if you identify content, universes, or reports that nobody needs anymore, and leaving those behind on the version that you're at instead of carrying those forward. That can minimize the amount of content that you have to move, the amount of content that you have to test, and can help you with scope. But definitely take a full inventory. The BI platform support tool can help you with that, and as well, several partners have tools that help you work with and understand the metadata that's inside of your BI platform. The second key thing is going to be to train teams on the Fiori-based interface. So moving from BI 4.2 to BI 4.3, for those of you who did it, because of the new Fiori interface that was introduced, it required a fair amount of Delta training to help users understand how the workflows had changed. And so I see a similar level of effort for people moving from BI 4.3 to BI 2025. So definitely plan for some Delta training. Also, step 3, we recommend, even though that the platform document says that you can upgrade from BI 4.2, we recommend that you upgrade at least as part of your migration plan to 4.3, especially if you have universes to convert. Pardon me. So there have been several improvements that SAP made in BI 4.3 regarding the conversion of UNV universes to UNX, and you'll certainly want to take advantage of that. In addition, with BI 4.2 being unsupported, if you first move your BI 4.2 content to 4.3, now you'll be moving from a supported 4.3 to a supported BI 2025. And that's really just a place of safety in case you encounter any issues that SAP will be able to help you because you're using supported products on both ends. And lastly, we would encourage you to prepare for migration now by leveraging our product, N4V for WEBI. So our product, which we're going to show you in just a moment, it gives you over 60 custom elements, or we like to call them widgets, that dramatically increase the capabilities of the dashboards that you're going to be able to build with Web Intelligence. And certain things, certain capabilities in Web Intelligence have historically led people to look for alternatives outside of the SAP space. And we want to encourage you to take a look at what we have to offer and how you can use the Web Intelligence and the universes that your users already know and love, and bring exceptional dashboarding capabilities to those users as well.
Fabulous. Dallas, take a minute. Have a glass of water, and I'll take it for a little bit here. So the next section we're going to talk about is BI 2025 and how it relates to N4V for WEBI. As well as during this, we're going to do a presentation, but I do have a couple of slides before we get to Dallas again. So BI 2025 is a great evolution, not a revolution. And what are we saying here? What we're saying is it's a great start, but it's lacking in a number of areas that customers have been asking for. And some of these you can see here. So operational reporting, yes, they all do operational reporting, but you can see, and I'll let you review this yourself, that there are some holes with what 4.2 and 4.3, as well as BI 2025 does. So it's getting there. We like what we see. However, we believe that it's a winning combination if you pair the N4V for WEBI solution, as Dallas is going to show you, with either 4.2, 4.3, or BI 2025. So before we go any farther, let me just talk to you about what actually our solution is. So N4V for WEBI is 100% compatible and fully integrated with SAP BusinessObjects 4.2, 4.3, and BI 2025. There are really four major components to our solution. The first is our N4V widgets, which integrates new data visualization components and navigation features, enabling advanced dashboarding in WEBI. Then there's our mapping feature, which allows the integration of online and offline maps and custom plans directly into WEBI, as well as the N4V analysis, which is an advanced pivot table for in-depth data exploration. And the last piece is our N4V publisher, and this is designed for distributing information outside of WEBI. So you can now allow users who do not have an SAP BusinessObjects license to view and interact with the data that you are pushing out as a dashboard. So as I said, we are a winning combination, and really there are 7 key capabilities that we believe are mission critical and where they fit within BusinessObjects. And these are the operational reporting, ad hoc analysis, dashboarding, geoanalytics, predictive analytics, WEBI offline consumption, as well as being able to push out a lightweight version or lightweight dashboard in a format such as HTML5, which is responsive, lightweight responsive solution. So I'll let you just take that in for a couple of seconds, but you can see 4.2 and 4.3, very little features as far as the areas, the 7 that I spoke about. BI 25 getting a little bit better. However, with N4V for WEBI, we certainly do fill the majority of those circles to give you that extra feature and functionality. And again, we believe that in conjunction with BI 2025, our solution really is a winning solution for you. So at this point, I want to pass it over to Dallas. Now, Dallas is now going to do a brief demonstration on the Need4Viz solution using a retail dashboard and demonstrate the key features of BI 2025. Dallas, if you'd like to take my screen. Dallas, you're on mute.
All right, so thank you, Warren. So there are a few things that I'd like to show you first about BI 2025 and culminating in showing you our solution, N4V for WEBI, of course, noting that you do not need to move to BI 2025 to use Need4Viz, fully supported on 4.2 and 4.3 as well. So as you can see, the BI 2025 user interface is very similar to 4.3 with a main panel and a build panel over on the left-hand side. What is really new is it adds a quick access panel over on the left side of the user interface. And while we had a data mode in BI 4.3, it's been greatly enhanced in BI 2025. So I want to start there today. And the key innovation in BI 2025 is that you can now use functions and formulas as part of your data cleansing routines. And so this is quite a leap in the data mode's capability from 4.3. And so I have some data here from eFashion, everybody's favorite demo database. And to demonstrate how to use a formula, I'm just going to give you a quick example. All right, so here I am. I've got an eFashion query that I've already built, and we have monthly data, and so I'm going to create a formula that demonstrates how to use functions when creating a variable. And so the eFashion company would like to make a charitable contribution at the end of the year based on how our December sales are going. So I'm going to create a variable called charitable contribution. And this is telling me I can't spell, but that's okay. And so the formula is basically going to say that if we are in the month of December, that we want to take our sales revenue and we're going to donate 1% of our revenues. Okay, and I need to make that a measure. Needs to be a scalar. All right, and if you can look here in my data mode, you can see that when the month is not 12, that I'm passing through nothing, and when the month is December, then I'm doing the 1% calculation. That variable is now part of the data cube. And so when I go back to design mode, then that is available to me and I can bring in my charitable contribution. Okay, we are going to be doing a much larger demonstration of BI 2025 in our next webinar. And so I'll be doing a much deeper dive. So, a little more sophisticated than what I'm showing you today. So the next thing that I want to show you is our Need4Viz solution. And also a little bit about this new quick access panel. So you can see that there's a left-hand panel that provides three main things. It provides access to your data sources. So again, nothing new here. This is something that is available up on the Web Intelligence menu, but it is now front and center and just one click away instead of multiple clicks. You have a second section of report elements. And so you'll see that you have both your standard traditional web intelligence types, and you also have, those are in red, and you have new UI5 widgets. Those are in blue. And lastly, if you look down here at the bottom, because we have N4V for WEBI installed, we have 62 custom elements. So our solution greatly increases the number of custom elements that you get to use in your dashboards. And these widgets are fully interactive, and many of them support drill down capability. So these provide capabilities that you simply cannot achieve in Web Intelligence alone. And they are tightly integrated here into BI 2025. They're also tightly integrated into BI 4.2 and 4.3 just through the traditional right-hand side menus. The third thing that we have in the quick access panel is your canvas sizes. So remember, we said that we've historically designed for different paper sizes, and we now have the ability to design for monitors, for tablets, and for mobile devices. And if you want to do offline browsing with the new WIDEX format, it is required that you choose one of these to begin your design with. Okay, moving on, I'd also like to show you a complete dashboard that has been built with N4V for WEBI. So notice we are still in Web Intelligence. So this is an example of a report that you might send out to your audience. And so we've tried to use a variety of traditional WEBI things like sections, charts, even the geographic maps that Web Intelligence provides. But what you are able to do with N4Viz is to create a full dashboard. And so you can see we have a wide array of gauges and KPIs. We have gorgeous maps. We have 8 different map widgets covering a variety of scenarios. And we have scrollable tables that are also filterable. And using our solution is really easy. So again, I said that we're tightly integrated. So I'm just going to select this table of data here, and I'm going to go into the custom elements. And with a single click, I can change this into a drill bar. And so I'm going to go into the N4V bars, and you can see that we have several different kinds of bar widgets. And when I hover over the desired tile, in this case, the drill bar, there's a little turn into button on it, and simply with one click, I've turned a basic table into a N4Viz custom widget. Again, without right-clicking, notice that I can get access to most of the properties. So if I need to reassign data, if I need to adjust the settings, or if I need to adjust the parameters. And so our widgets are highly customizable. So I'm going to select the extended parameters and just make a couple of simple changes here to, for example, I'm going to change the color palette to match the rest of my dashboard. Okay. So this is N4Viz and what it can do inside of Web Intelligence. You can also publish your N4Viz dashboards to HTML. So what does that mean? It means that we're going to have, you'll be able to access business objects data without a business objects login. And our HTML is it's fast and efficient, and also responsive. So this is the exact same dashboard It's available. This is HTML, and so all the interactivity that I have inside of WebI, for example, with the drill bar here, I can drill down into the eastern region, and I can drill down to individual counties and individual stores and see how things are going. I can take a look at the map over here, and I'm based in Ohio in the United States. So as the regional manager of Ohio, I can drill down and see that we have 4 different stores in the state of Ohio. And really quickly, I can tell 3 of them have blue dots, and so that means that their sales are down for the year. And but I do have 1 bright spot, so I can see that quickly. And one of the advantages of using maps is it allows you to see data in a way that you just can't. You really can't understand the relationships just by looking at a table full of numbers. So once I've drilled into Ohio, I can also see exact details, and I can even filter in focus. So if I want to focus on my stores that their sales have gone down, I can do dynamic filtering. And notice how quick and responsive it is. This is completely offline, so all of the data needed to drive the dashboard is embedded in the HTML5. And as well, this HTML5 is fully responsive. So right now I'm on my desktop, and I'm going to resize my browser window to mimic going down to a tablet size. So as I do that, you'll see that the dashboard, it realigns itself. So that's kind of a tablet size there. And if I keep going even further, I'll have a single column. And I have not lost any fidelity or functionality. So all of my dashboards here, all of the tooltips, all of the drill down capabilities, they're here whether I'm on a mobile, a tablet, or a desktop. And again, this is a dashboard that I've created in Web Intelligence using N4V for WebI custom elements. And I've used our built-in publisher feature to push this out as HTML. And it's available as a single click, a single bookmark to my users that need to get access to it. All right, back to you, Warren.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dallas. Can you see my screen, Dallas, real quickly?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, let me just move that. There we go. Okay, so thank you, Dallas. Take a glass of water. And we'll pause. We're almost finished, ladies and gentlemen. I know that we're coming up to time here, and I know that there's been a few questions that have come through. So at Need4Viz, we believe the following. BI 2025 makes WebI intelligence modern in today's analytics landscape, and N4V for WebI is the ultimate web intelligence upgrade. If you are a current N4V customer looking to transition from 4.2 to 4.3, your investment in your current reports and dashboards will transition smoothly when you upgrade to BI 2025. If you are not currently a customer of ours, there is no need to wait until you implement BI 2025 to enhance your reporting and dashboarding capabilities with N4V, as Dallas has shown us. All right, let me get to the next slide here. Second to the last agenda item, which is really a summary, and to talk about some of the resources that are available to you when moving to BI 2025. So what have we learned? We talked about key innovations with BI 2025. Those were the data mode, the enhanced UX for web intelligence, the canvas support or sizing, as well as the web intelligence document extract, which is WIDEX. Number 2, the BI 2025 impacts to your business. We spoke about the impact of BI 2025 on your business as the deprecated features within 4.3 and 4.2, and our suggestions, pardon me, on how to move forward. Third, seamless transition strategies. Dallas shared with you our 4 suggestions on seamless transition strategies. And lastly, number 5, the mission criticality within Need4Viz. And here we showed you the Need4Viz for WebI features and how they can help your WebI reports and dashboards become mission critical within your organization. Dallas did show you this and did go into it, but I did want to show you this one other time. So off of our website, you're able to get to what we call our publisher section or our catalog. This is where you can see examples of the Need for Viz publisher, our widgets, our maps, and the analysis. So this is a great place to go to see exactly what we can do. Also on our website, you can log into our environment within 4.2, 4.3, and BI2025, and test our solution with some mock examples that we have for you. Some N4V resources. This is obviously our website, the Need for Viz demo on BI 4.3. We also have the publisher demo, or what I call the catalog, which we just spoke about, as well as our Need for Viz videos. And Dallas has done a great job putting together some videos that show basic features and functionality and how to do some of the things that you're capable of doing within our solution, as well as all of our past webinars are on there as well. SAP also has a number of resources. These include a number of these knowledge base articles, which I'll let you take a look at. We suggest that you take a look at these if you are going to move to BI 2025, just to cover yourself. And lastly, I want to talk about some of the questions that have come in and take a look at those. And so our first question, Dallas, before we proceed, could you kindly let me know if Business Objects is expected to be supported beyond 2030? And then what is the role of SAC? And he's an SAC architect. So Dallas, you want to take a stab at that?
Sure. We have been expecting SAP to announce that there will be a BI 2029 successor to BI 2027. So we are hoping that that announcement comes later this year. But at the moment, if you look at the roadmap as it is published today, BI 2027 will be supported through 2030. So the role of SAC, which is short for SAP Analytics Cloud. So this is a cloud-based analytics product available from SAP, and it works well for particularly organizations that rely on SAP applications, and especially the planning application. So SAC is a good good product for some customers to migrate to and lessen their dependence on business objects. Although what many customers have found is when they see shortcomings in the business objects platform, they've actually looked outside of SAP at other solutions. And of course, there are a couple of those that are probably on the tip of everybody's tongue, so I don't need to say what those are. So both of these products are going to continue to be supported and enhanced by SAP. So there is a future for both of them.
Great, thank you, sir. We do have one other question. Please share pricing details of N4V. Our pricing, I'll tell you that we price our product based on how you have licensed your environment from SAP. So we take into consideration the number of named users, the concurrent users, and we figure out a price that way. So if you'd like details as to what's in your, as far as pricing is concerned, take a copy of your CMC, give us a screenshot, and we can certainly have a conversation with you as to what the pricing for the N4V for solution for WebI would be based on your current business objects and SAP environment. Next, is separate license required for N4V as part of web chart visualization? Dallas, do you know the answer to that?
So you license our product, you purchase a license for us, but there are no additional licensing requirements for SAP Business Objects. And in fact, one of the reasons that many customers have been impressed with our publisher solution is in publishing the dashboards to HTML. They can be accessed by users that do not need to access the BI platform and therefore do not need a license. And so there can be a real cost savings by having casual users use the HTML dashboards as opposed to connecting to the BI platform directly.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dallas. So that is all the questions that we have seen within the chat. And knowing that we're slightly over time, I would like to bring us to a close here. So on behalf of the team, we would like to thank you for your attention and attending our webinar today. As a reminder, we'll be posting this webinar to our resources page of our website. And for those of you who are here today, we'll be sending you a link afterwards with a link to the presentation as well. If you have any questions or comments, please feel to reach out to us. And we want to thank you and have a great rest of your day or evening, depending on where you've dialed in from around the world. And we hope to see you at a future N4V webinar. Thanks to everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone.